held positions of sort of visiting scholarships and similar fellowships in, wow, Berlin, Munich, Italy. He's the author of several books, and I'm just going to see here. A comparative evolution of business partnership, Islamic world and the West, with specific reference to the Ottoman archives, the history of philanthropic foundations, Islamic world from the 7th to the present, and Islamic capitalism and finance, origins, evolutions, and the future. And his most recent book is Islam and the Challenges of Western Capitalism. It's one of the ones that is over here. Big, okay, alright. But instead we have, Hocam, do we own these?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, excellent. So here we have the Islamic Capitalism and Finance one. If any of you are interested, you will have access to it through the library. So yeah, we're very, very honored.
We have all these books. You can always you read, discuss, and
always get in touch with questions. Yes. Yeah. So Alparslan Hocam probably has even more to say about professors.
Yes. I first met my dear friend in, I think, 1992.
Yes.
At a place where very far from Turkey, in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And then we worked together, taught together. He is to scholarship, and he is idealist like me, to achieve certain things in his field. And we joined our efforts together. Many times we had discussions on topics that are issues and problems in the Muslim world today. He decided to retire at an early age so he can devote all his life to scholarship. He's one of those scholars.
One of those crazy types.
We had a few projects together, but we have not been able to achieve it, unfortunately.
We are still young.
Yes, we can inshallah continue, let us say. I am sure maybe in the course of this talk you will talk about some of these. I am so glad and honored to have him here at our institute. Inshallah, we will collaborate here.
Inshallah.
In the future.
Inshallah. Thank you, Alparslan. Thank you for this excellent introduction. Thank you for inviting me to this.
Thank you for coming over all the way from Bursa.
I slept on the boat, so it's a real pleasure to be here and in these beautiful buildings. This is my first visit to the institute, and I was very impressed by the architecture and by the whole atmosphere here. Thank you again for inviting me here. The topic of my talk is a rather unusual one. I'm sure you have noticed, some thoughts about the post-chaotic MENA. MENA, as I'm sure all of you know, is Middle East and North Africa. So basically the heart of the Islamic world. And I call it my thoughts are about the post-chaotic MENA. It's a chaos, we all know what's going on. Particularly in Turkey, we are very close to the disaster in Syria. So every day we hear these things on the news, and the suffering of our Syrian brothers and sisters. I don't need to explain those things to you. I'm sure you are aware of what's going on. So it's a chaotic situation. And when I was writing this paper, it has been reported that some 70,000 people, Syrians trying to escape Russian bombing, had reached the Turkish border. 70,000 people. So they want to join the 2.5 million who are already in Turkey. was a true disaster. Just a few years ago, there was talk of Arab Spring, and I thought, naively, that summer comes after the spring, and the whole Arab world is going to get rid of all these dictators, and summer is just there. That's what I thought. How naive I was, I have to admit. Actually, it wasn't the spring, it was autumn, apparently. So we have now entered, Arab world has entered into the winter. And talking about the winter, if you look into the old, very long history of Arab peoples, this is the third winter, it's not the first winter. I would say the first winter was at the time of the Crusades, 11th and 12th and the 13th centuries. When did the Crusades end? We know when it started, in the year 1095. When did it end? It never did it? Even Mr. Bush declared that he was doing crusades. So, I mean, started in the year 1095, it's continuing in the 21st century. So, that is the first winter. The second one was the 13th century, the Mongol invasions, I would say, the total destruction of Baghdad and many other cities. And the third one is this civil war that's going on in the Arab world. Which one is the most destructive one? All the sources say horrible things about crusades as well as the Mongol invasion, but I think the most destructive one is the one we are doing in ourselves now, the civil war. Why? Obviously because all the sides are using modern weapons. So the destruction is just unbelievable. I have lived in Berlin, and I saw a lot of films about this destruction inflicted upon Berlin during the Second World War. Well, when you see the pictures of Aleppo, Damascus, and other major cities in Syria, it's just as bad, or worse, because these new weapons they create artificial earthquakes. I mean, the whole huge buildings collapse. The destruction is mind-boggling. So this is the third winter, and it is the worst one, I would say. But, as the Sufis say, this too shall pass. Bu da geçer yahu. Right? This too shall pass. Indeed, no doubt it will pass. But then what will come after the chaos? Well, it is the wrong question, I should say, because only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what will come after that. No one can know what will come after that. So we need to rephrase the question. I should say, what should come after that? What should come after the chaos? That we can discuss. So this is what I will try to do now. This is the purpose of my paper. I will talk about what, in my opinion, should come after the chaos. And then I'll be very interested in your opinions. I may be wrong, I may be correct, you may agree, disagree, but this is what we have to discuss. What should come after that? If we don't have an idea, these young people, young scholars, if they don't have an idea of what should come after the chaos, what hope is there? There can be no hope. So we need to discuss these things. So what I will do is I will use my knowledge of history and economic history of the Islamic world as well as the West. So I will talk as an economic historian and an economist, and I will try to envisage what should come in the future. So use history as a tool to understand, to try to understand what should come in the future. You can use, most historians do not like what I'm doing, I must admit, because historians believe mostly that history is for history. Well, I'm an economist. I look at history from a different perspective. I think history can be used, just like a scientist can use certain things in the laboratory, make experiments. In history itself is a laboratory, in my opinion. Centuries of experience is there. So based upon that experience, we should be able to use that experience for the future. This is what I will try to do. As I said, it is not the perfect methodology, I suppose, but I try. I may be wrong, but I try. Let's see. First of all, 3 countries are going through the chaos at the moment, at least 3 countries. Iraq, Syria, and Libya. All these 3 countries are in the middle of a civil war. Of course, you can add Somalia and other countries, Yemen, of course, as well. There is disaster going on everywhere, really. And in all these areas, I should say, new state formation has the highest priority. New states need to be established if we want to get rid of this chaos, or whatever will come after the chaos. These new states should fulfill 4 conditions. First, they have to be compatible with the Sharia. If not, they will not have any legitimacy, obviously. In the Islamic world, any state that is established needs to be Sharia compliant. 2, the state should emerge from the age-old traditions of Muslims. We have traditions, we have history, we have all that experience of centuries, going back all the way to the 7th century. So that experience we must be able to use. And that experience itself was not invented by the Muslims. A lot of those experiences, principles, institutions were borrowed from even earlier civilizations, which fits into this institute perfectly, because a lot of things the Muslims learned from the Romans, or from the Sassanids, or from India. So there was this trans-cultural exchange, even at the very beginning of Islam. So these traditions need to be taken into account. But at the same time, the new states should also bear in mind the experiences of the West. The West also has a lot of experience, and they have been very, very successful. So those experiences, those institutions need to be taken also into careful consideration. And finally, these new states should be able to address modern needs and achieve sustained economic growth. So these 4 things: Sharia compatibility, traditions, Islamic traditions, Western experience, and sustained economic growth. Target being the sustained economic growth, because with the exception of the oil-producing countries, we are all poor. We have to achieve sustained economic growth. Have we ever had such a thing in the past? Well, we did create a great civilization from the 7th to the 13th centuries, at least, to the destruction of Baghdad. We had the classical Islamic civilization, and after that, there was continuity. The Ottomans came after that, and they were also very powerful, so there was a lot of continuity. But we did create this civilization. And I am sure most of you are aware that there is this new museum now in Topkapı Palace, on the Museum of Islamic Sciences. And while you are in Istanbul, particularly foreign students should really visit that magnificent museum.
By the way, the institute also there, which is connected with this university.
Oh, I see, I didn't know that.
Yeah. What's it?
Yes. And we have to translate those, is it 13 volumes now, this Magnum Opus?
Yes.
They need to be translated, really. That's a huge project, but he wrote about 13 volumes, if I'm not wrong. And the Einführung in die islamische Wissenschaftsgeschichte. And that 13 volumes is the solid evidence of what the Muslims have achieved in the field of positive sciences. It is in German, and desperately we need to have it translated both into Turkish and Arabic, and also into English, of course. So, having said that, this civilization, this magnificent civilization, which has, in philosophy, that is Alparslan's topic here, what they have done in philosophy, in the positive sciences, and economics. Personally, I have been talking about the economic system that they created. I have been teaching that particular course for, I almost said centuries now, but you know, for many, many years. And that economic system I have called Islamic capitalism. Now, most people don't like that term. The reason they don't like is because they think capitalism is something very bad. And the reason, first of all, there is this powerful leftist, Marxist influence that capitalism is very bad. It is based upon ruthless exploitation of labor. Yes. And also it is something very Western. So how can there be Islamic capitalism? The term Islamic capitalism is an oxymoron. The two cannot be together. Most people think like that. The problem, I suggest that you read the first 50 pages of this. If you read the first 50, I cannot explain that now, I have no time. But I have 50 pages of solid evidence here. If you have any doubt, just read it. Let me only say this, the